trophy husband with three wives stays at home while the three wives go to work. I thought this was going to be a crazy article, so let's check this out. A man who calls himself a trophy husband has revealed that not only does he have three wives, but he doesn't work. Which, funny enough, I'm pretty certain in pretty much almost every single state that you can't have more than one wife, legally speaking. So, comparing his role in the polyamorous family to that on a chessboard, dad of two, Nick Davis, says he doesn't have a job because the king doesn't move around much, while the queens have all the power. Meanwhile, his three wives, April, Danielle, and Jennifer, all have full time professions. Nick met his first wife, April, at university 15 years ago before they welcomed Jennifer into their marriage 9 years later. I gotta say, this dude has to be just like slinging pipe like every day. It's nice to have helping hands with my husband. While it might sound unusual, 38-year-old April says she is happy having extra woman in the relationship to meet Nick's needs. Nick's a lot to handle. Let's just say that in a lot of ways. Nick is a lot to handle in the bed, she told TOC's Seeking Sister Wife program. Nick's a lot to handle in general with his personality. It's nice to be able to have the helping hands. In fact, it was actually April who introduced her 39-year-old husband to 25-year-old Jennifer, who was 19 at the time, thinking she would be a good fit for their family. It just became evident to me that she was a great person. There's a lot of high intellect in that big brain of hers, and I knew that Nick would find her attractive, April shared. Nick explained that he likes to be snuggled up in the middle of his wives at night, but that sex always occurs in a different area of the home with each wife. Having three wives is like living a dream come true. When the polyamorous family appeared on Seeking Sister Wife last year, they welcomed 22-year-old Danielle into their family. In a wedding ceremony with his other two wives by his side, Nick said he was living the dream as he committed to Danielle. Having three wives, knowing that we've all solidified our union and brought it together like we have, is just unbelievable. I just feel like I'm just living a dream come true, he said. I honestly didn't ever think I could be this happy, Danielle added. I didn't think happiness like this existed until I found a love like this. And now the Davis family has grown even more after Jennifer welcomed their first child together, Vera, in June last year. Nick also has an older teenage son from a previous relationship. So again, this dude must be slinging pipe like all the time. Like his drive must be crazy high. But what I find interesting about this is that he's basically a stay at home dad and has three wives basically bringing in the bacon, which I find to be very interesting because, one, I'm not necessarily against the idea of like people pulling their resources together in kind of like this fashion, but it's kind of weird that you have multiple wives like this and you don't necessarily contribute anything financially to the relationship. You're literally just contributing your meat. Like, I don't know. It just seems a little bit odd to me. Like, I think it'd be a lot better if he was working at least something. So now you got four people working together, bringing their resources together, which, by the way, that would make it so much easier to buy a really nice house. It'd be so much easier to really take care of bills. It'd be so much easier to invest when you have four sources of income coming together for the same purpose, right? But this is just three sources of income coming together to basically take care of the dude. Let's see some of these comments. Ha 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 ha. What kind of contest in hell did those three win for that trophy? Congratulations, brother. Your accomplishment is almost as good, relevant as that participation trophy I received in Little League 30 years ago. I just don't brag about my trophy. In terms of this guy, I'd get more for my money. You just did, this person said. Nana essentially pipping three white women is big league. Which one gets to declare him as a dependent on a tax return? Just curious. To this point, whichever, literally any state, see, this is what I was thinking. I'm pretty certain this is technically illegal. This guy and these women should be indicted for polygamy and potentially tax fraud. I'd like to know the professions of the three women, and does it include having to repeatedly ask, would you like fries with that? See, like, the interesting thing about that, even if that was technically these three ladies' jobs where they're working like a fast food job, pulling three sources of income, even of that caliber, is still a lot of money combined, right? And again, if you have the same purpose, it can really do a lot. So again, I'm not necessarily against them all living together, working on the same goals, gathering their finances together to like achieve something. But when you start involving like a relationship like this, it could get really bad really quickly. One girl could be basically super jealous, another girl might be crazy, another girl might just want to like steal everything. The guy, financially speaking, is basically worthless and is only providing his meat to these chicks. It's just weird. I can bet that there's no coherent dinner conversations in that household. Yeah, but look at them. They aren't exactly raving beauties. Don't hate. Let them enjoy their best lives. To share a man that doesn't work speaks volumes about their lack of self esteem and self respect. Interesting. Let's see. So this person says, I watched an episode of this show, and the dude looks like he is high as a kite the entire time. Yep, they got themselves a real winner. What is wrong with these women? Exactly, even though that's not spelled correctly. Women seem to settle for so little. It's very sad. Let's see. You can have them, bro. So he's got three mother in laws and three father in laws, too. Holidays must be a chaotic time. America's finished. I think we all know what this looks like. Pimping ain't easy. I mean, if he is doing that route, at least he can make a lot of money doing that route, but not good. It's not a good thing. Who wants three headaches when there's plenty? These situations always end badly. Pretty much I agree. Pimp is the term. And the truth is, if he were really that good in bed, there's no way his wife would share him. He just has an insatiable appetite, and she doesn't get enough out of it to cause her to be too proud or jealous if she shares. Interesting. He sure loves big women. Hmm. They all hate their fathers. Yeah, see, I don't know. The thing is, at the very least, I think it'd be a good idea if the guy got some sort of job because, based off the article, it basically says that he has no job. But if he were to get a job and then they were all working together for their same main goals, financially speaking, I don't think there's necessarily anything wrong with this. It's just this can end so badly, so quickly, in so many different ways. Like, for example, let's say that they were all put onto the same mortgage. Let's say one of them passes away. Well, now three of them are now stuck with the fourth one's siblings if they don't have a good will in place. So it could just get really bad. The problem with getting into a situation like this is that one, it could be heavily illegal if they actually are all married. Two, this is a massive financial headache if you guys don't have the same goals or the same views on finances as well. So, for example, let's say the guy thinks that you should save your money, but two of the girls out of the three think that, oh, we should just be able to spend all the money because we make all the money. And then you got the third one that's basically like doesn't care about money at all. Like, it could get really bad. Like, if there's all this weird confusion about money, how to spend it, how to invest it, how to keep it, how should we divvy it up? Is all of our money together or not? Is everything separate? Do we end up giving the guy a couple $100 per month? Like what is going on, right? Like, to me, if the guy was working and they all decided to basically have a joint bank account, if they were actually all married, even though that would be illegal, if they joined everything as like a unit and they all viewed it as their own money, so they would take care of that source of money, that bank account basically, as their own, because they're like, okay, this is my money, I gotta be careful with it. And if they all had that basically same viewpoint, and then their goals were like, oh, I want to be richer later on, I want to take care of any debts that we might have, take care of the household, all that sort of stuff, then that could maybe make sense, that could maybe be okay. But this is such a dangerous situation, like a super dangerous situation.